So, good afternoon, all of you. Today's topic of discussion is sexual reproduction in plants. And to discuss sexual reproduction in plant, first of all, we have to discuss the parts of a flower because flower is the sexual organ of a plant. So, when we talk about a flower, my voice is breaking. Just a minute. Let me check my internet connection if my voice is breaking. Yes, I was telling you to begin with. Sexual reproduction in plant, first of all we have to discuss about the structure of a flower as it is the sexual organ of the flower. So the flower has four main parts. The hole the outermost hole is known as calyx. Calyx is made up of small green color sepals. So a single leaf is known as sepal and the entire hole is known as calyx. After calyx, there are colored leaves. These colored leaves are known as petal. One leaf is known as petal, and the entire whole is known as corolla. Inside to corolla is the male organ of the flower. This male organ, which is also known as stamen, is made up of two parts, anther and filament. Anther is the topmost flower part of the stamen, and filament is a long stalk-like structure through which anther is attached either at the base of the ovary or to the petals. Then the innermost hole is the female organ, which is also known as ovary or pistil. So this ovary is this pistil, which is also known as gynoecium. This pistil is made up of three parts: stigma, the sticky part; style, the long neck part; and ovary, the part which consist of ovule, which contains ovules. So ovule is the female gametophyte which contain female gamete. Female gamete is egg cell. Okay. So basically there are four holes in a flower: sepal or calyx, petal or corolla, stamen or androecium, pistil or gynoecium. Apart from this, a cup-like structure is there which hold the entire flower at its position. This cup-like structure is known as thalamus or receptacle, and a long stalk-like structure which attaches the flower to the branch of the plant is known as pedicel. So all these parts of the flower are divided into two parts. Just a minute. Yes. So all the parts of flower are divided into two parts: essential parts and accessory parts. Essential parts are those parts which directly take part in the reproduction. So obviously the female part, that is pistil, and the male part, that is stamen. Both of them are the essential parts of a flower. Petals, corolla or calyx, they are accessory parts of the flower since they do not participate in reproduction directly. Rather, they help in reproduction. Corolla help in reproduction by attracting insects for pollination due to their bright color. Yes, friends, I am repeating, just wait. So, just a minute. I was saying that the parts of flower are divided into two parts: essential parts, and accessory parts. Okay. Essential parts are androecium and gynoecium. Since they directly participate in reproduction. Androecium forms male gamete, gynoecium forms female gametes. But accessory parts, they do not participate in reproduction directly. They are calyx and corolla. Calyx, being green in color, they perform photosynthesis, and in the bud state of the flower, they protect the floral bud. Corolla, being colorful, they attract the insects for cross pollination through insects. Okay, so these are the accessory parts. Without them, also reproduction will take place. But without gynoecium or androecium, reproduction can't take place. That's why androecium and gynoecium are the essential whorls, and calyx and corolla are the non-essential whorls. Clear? Clear, all of you? Okay. These all we have already discussed. Now, straight away. So, sexual reproduction is a type of reproduction in which two type of gametes fuse together to form zygote. Lakshya Bhardwaj, how did you configure this thing that plant eat insects? Why plants will eat insects? I am not teaching you insectivorous plants right now. Okay. Shivansh, accessory parts are the calyx and corolla, which helps in reproduction but do not participate in reproduction directly. Calyx, being green, they perform photosynthesis to prepare the food, and also they protect the floral bud when it is very young. And corolla, being non-green, being brightly colored, they attract insects for cross pollination. Okay, okay, Sivansh, okay, Harsh. So, sexual reproduction is a type of reproduction when two parents are involved, male gamete and female gamete are formed, they fuse together, they fertilize together and form zygote. Okay. So when we talk about male gamete and female gamete, this is male gamete of a plant. Not this is pollen grain of a flower. This is male gametophyte. This contains male gamete. Okay. Pollen grain is male gametophyte and it contains male gamete. This nuclei is actually the male gamete. Okay. So this pollen grain structure, this pollen grain is covered with two membranes, exine and intine. It is it contains 2 to 3 cells depending upon plant to plant. Okay. So this cell, this is pollen cell and this is main cell. This is pollen tube cell and this is main cell. Okay. This is female gametophyte. Female gametophyte. This female gametophyte contains female gamete. This female gametophyte name is ovule. This is known as ovule. Okay. Ovule consists of total 7 cells and 8 nucleus. 3 cells at one end, 3 cells at micropylar end, and one big cell in the center. These 3 cells at the opposite end or chalical end are known as antipodial cells. They helps in pollination, fertilization. They helps in fertilization. These 3 cells, this bigger cell, this is egg cell. This is the female gamete. These 2 cells, they are known as synergids. And these 2 nucleus, they are known as polar nuclei. So each and every cell has a specific function in fertilization and further development of zygote. Okay. So pollination. What is pollination? Pollination is the transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma of the same flower, or to the different flower on the same plant, or to different flower on the different plant. Depending upon depending upon the plant, this pollination is of two types: self pollination or cross pollination. When the pollen grain transfer to the same flower from anther to stigma of the same flower, or the different flower on the same plant when the plant remains same, this type of pollination is self pollination. That means figure A and B represents self pollination. But when this pollen grain transfer from anther to stigma of the different plant flower of the different plant, then this is known as cross pollination. This figure C represents cross pollination. Got it, everyone? Pollination. Now, self pollination generally don't require any agent since the flower is same or the plant is same. So pollen grain has to travel a very short distance. But when we talk about cross pollination, it requires external agents. So on the basis of external agents, the cross pollination is of four types: wind pollination, which is also known as anemophily; water pollination, which is also known as hydrophily; insect pollination, which is also known as entomophily; animal pollination, which is also known as zoophily. So what are the characteristics of wind pollinated flower? So wind pollinated flower are not very brightly colored. They are not brightly colored since they need not to attract any insect. That's why they are not brightly colored. Their anther filaments are very long and very loose. They are freely protruded outside in the air so that air easily can blow away the pollen grains toward the uh, stigma of other flower. Okay. So stigma is also feathery and ideally adapted to catch the pollen grains. Anther is loaded with pollen. It dangle loosely from the filament, thus exposing the pollens. And filament is long and loose. So wind pollinated flowers are not brightly colored. Their filaments are long and loose. Their anthers are loaded with pollen, and pollen grain are produced in very large number, and they dangle loosely outside so that they expose the pollen to the air. Stigma is feathery and ideally adapt to catch the pollens. Okay, so these are the characteristic of a wind pollinated flower. Water pollinated flower. So water, this is Vallisneria. This Vallisneria is a water pollinated flower. So here you can see the there are two type of flowers are there: pistillate flower and staminate flower. Pistillate flower are those flower which contain solely the female parts, that is gynoecium. And staminate flowers are those flowers which contain only the androecium. Okay. So the male flowers or staminate flowers are lower. They are situated lower. And pistillate flower or female flower, they freely floating over the surface of water to catch the male gametes. The male flower release pollen grain in the water. Pollen grain being lighter start flowing on the surface of water, and this water current takes these pollen grain away from the parent plant, and they are catched by other plant pistillate flowers, stigma of pistillate flower. Okay, clear all of you? Now entomophily, that is insect pollinated flower. So this is an insect pollinated flower. You can see that it is a brightly colored flower and it produces nectar. Nectar is a sugary uh, fragmenting liquid which attract the insect. So whenever an insect sits on the flower to suck the nectar, pollen grain stuck with its wings and its legs. And when it again sit on the other flower, these pollen grain then transfer to the stigma of that other flower. So how a insect pollinated flower looks like? It is very brightly colored and very much fragmenting flower. Okay, it produces nectar in the large amount. So after pollination, the next step is fertilization. Once the pollen grain transfer to the stigma of the pistil, it start growing its pollen tube. So this big structure throughout the style and ovary, this structure is known as pollen tube. This pollen tube helps the male gametes to transfer up to the female gametocyte, female gametophyte. Okay. So this is the enlarged view. These two are the male gametes. There are two male gametes, out of which one fertilized with the egg cell and the other fertilized with these two polar nuclei. That's why the fertilization in angiosperm or flowering plants is known as double fertilization and triple fusion. Why it is known as double fertilization? Because two fertilizations are taking place. One male gamete fertilizes with the egg cell and the other male gamete fertilizes with these polar nuclei. And why it is known as triple fusion? Because their three nucleus are fusing. One, two polar nucleus and third is the male gamete. So because three nucleus are fusing together to form a triploid endosperm, that's why it is known as triple fusion. So double fertilization, triple fusion is the characteristic feature of angiosperm or flowering plants. Clear, everyone? Okay. So this diagram summarizes the entire event. So this is the flower. This is the gynoecium part of the flower, which is consist of ovary, style, and stigma. In the gynoecium, ovules are there. The structure of ovule I had shown you, and these are the androecium. Androeciums are made up of anther and filament. Anther are loaded with pollen grains. Pollen grains are the male gametophytes. These pollen grain are pollination is the process when these pollen grain transfer from anther to the stigma, either of the same flower or the different flower. Once these pollen grain reaches to the stigma of the ovary of the pistil, they start enlarging the pollen tube. This pollen tube consists two sperm nuclei. Once this pollen tube reaches to the micropyle of the ovule, this is the micropyle of the ovule. Ovule is the female gametophyte which consists egg nucleus or female gamete. So once this pollen tube reaches to the micropyle of the ovule, it transfers the male gamete to the egg cell, and 2 the polar cell. One male gamete fertilizes the egg cell and the other male gamete fuses with these two polar nuclei. As a result, two cells forms. One is zygote. Zygote is formed as a result of the fertilization of egg nucleus and one sperm nuclei. And the other cell is the endosperm cell, endosperm mother cell. This endosperm nucleus consists of endosperm nucleus made by the fusion of three nucleus, two polar nuclei, and one sperm nuclei. At the later stages, this zygote develops in the embryo and this endosperm forms the nutritive tissue. Embryo consists of two parts, radicle and plumule. Plumule in the later stage forms the shoot part of the plant and radicle in the later stage forms the root system of the plant. So this entire diagram summarizes the sexual reproduction in the plants. Any confusion in this? Yes, Ashita, gynoecium is the female part. Okay, so that's all for today's class. Thank you so much. Do visit this website learnsciencesonline.com. This will help you a lot. Thank you. Bye.